This is Nikolaos Floratos, the founder of Funding Expert Academy, as well as the creator of the Funding Expert Transformation Formula that transforms any individual into a funding expert. Now, what I'm going to tell you today from this beautiful place, I'm back in Brussels, yes, for one more time, for delivering another training. Anyway, the weather is perfect. I'm in Abriorix Park, where now I'm going to talk to you on how we're going to impress the evaluators, some general tips on how we're going to impress the evaluators regarding our European funding proposal, and to impress them with respect to the quality, but in a general manner. You remember the ones that have been following already the funding expert transformation formula, where in the third step I describe very clearly what should be the criteria formula, the 8 quality evaluation criteria, that we should apply some tips and some best practices specifically for each one of those 8 evaluation criteria. And I remind you, we have C, which is the consortium, R, which is the relevance, I, which is the innovation, T, which is the trans-European dimension, E, which is economics, R, which is reputation, which means dissemination, exploitation, communication, criteria, then I, which is the impact, and A, which is the approach. So I'm giving in the funding expert transformation formula specific tips on how to exploit successfully and impress your evaluators according to those 8 evaluation criteria. Now, what I'm going to talk to you here in my YouTube channel as well as in my blog is how you can impress the evaluators, some general tips, not specifically per criterion, but some general tips. You do understand that when we have a success rate in a European funding program of, let's say, 20%, then that means that 80% of the proposals will fail. So what we need to do is we need to, from the moment that the evaluator starts picking up the proposal that we have submitted, we need to impress him or her. We need to change his mindset, because subconsciously the mind of every human being, including of course the evaluators, tries to find out ways to do the job easier. So what does that mean? That means that whenever an evaluator reads a proposal, the mind subconsciously, before even start reading it, the mind tells to her or to him that look, this has around 80% chance to be a failed proposal. So try to find reasons to justify this statement. So we don't want that kind of statements. In order not to have that kind of statements, what we need is we need to impress the evaluators from the very beginning. So some general tips, not specific ones as the ones that I'm addressing in the funding expert transformation formula, are the following. In any European funding program, where the first point that the first section that the evaluators should read should start with problems, not with objectives. Most of the applicants, when they try to develop an application form, they start with objectives. These are the objectives. But what are the objectives in any European funding project? These are solutions. So can you have solutions without having specified first the problems? So what I'm saying, and this should be as a rule of thumb, one of the best practices that you need to apply, you need to follow the PSV approach. I repeat, PSV approach. So whenever we start writing the first section, what should the evaluator see as a first is problems, rationale. What are the problems that we need to target in our with our proposal, with our project? So problems, where can we find problems? We need to think of, we need to have also brainstorming, brain writing techniques on that, but a very good source of identifying problems related to our proposal idea are to have a look on who likes to talk about problems and solutions. Who? Politicians. So who are the politicians at the European level, more or less? There are the commissioners and the members of the European Parliament. So what we need to is in order to identify problems and solutions at the European level that support our proposal, that are linked, related, and support our proposal idea, we need to look first Rapid Press, which is the press release site of the European Commission, where it has current or archived all the speeches all the presentations that have been made by the commissioners in their own portfolio, in their own domain, in their own area, so you can very easily identify problems and solutions if we look on those speeches of those commissioners. This is from the European Commission point of view, but also from the Parliament, European Parliament point of view, we can identify problems and solutions by looking in these committees, the European Parliament committees, that these are consisted per thematic topic, and in each thematic topic, in each committee, we have supporting documentation, supporting studies. So the MEPs, in order to make a decision in their own committees, they have already studied, they have already supported their decisions, their suggestions for policies in specific studies, and imagine and what? All these studies are available in the European Parliament website, where you can go in the different committees and you can see supporting documentation, you can have a look on studies, think tank conclusions, and very useful information that can facilitate you identifying some problems. And of course, these problems to be linked with your solutions. The next element that you have to do, which is very important also, is as soon as we specify the problems, to specify our solutions. So the solutions are going to be the objectives of our project. So we have the problems first, then based on the problems we identify the solutions, and the solutions are linked with our problems. And then the last element, which is PSV, the last is the vision. What we want to achieve with that project by the end of the implementation period, as well as 1 or 2 years after the end of the implementation period. So we have problems, solutions, vision. So that's the first element that we need to have, and that's the starting point in any European funding program. Now the second one that is very important is, you know that the experts, when they have to evaluate your proposal, they have very limited time. It can be from 1 hour and a half to half a day maximum. And what does that mean? That means that they have very limited time to understand the value of your proposal. So we need to stand out from the crowd. So in order to do that, we need to use some good visual representations. So we need, first of all, a very good project logo. We need to have a project logo, not only because it shows that we are professionals in our approach, but also because it can be used as a reference in any further illustrations when we want to show, for example, in a visual representation, what will be the impact of the project in society. We can put, instead of the name of the project, the logo of the project. So that's the first element. The second element, we need to have bullet points. We need to have very clearly mentioning what we are going to achieve, how we're going to achieve it, but not in a paragraph format. Either in a bullet format or in a tabular format. So we're using some tables for doing that. And the third element that we need to have is that we need illustrations. We need diagrams. We need flowcharts. We need illustrations that are made, for example, in Adobe Illustrator. This is very important because, as also a Chinese verb says, if one picture is equal to 1,000 words, and sometimes we're very limited in the amount of words that we have to put in one proposal. So what we need to have is we need to use project illustrations, project designs. Now, in order to get inspired what kind of project designs you can use in your proposal, Google in images and try to Google for images that are related to project designs. So you'll see different ideas, how different projects, they try to present their approach with visual representation. So this is very important. You can use Adobe Illustrator for that. You can use Visio of Microsoft. Maybe it's better to use Adobe Illustrator for me, and going to some feedback that I have received from some students. This is very important to use. It's by far easier to have Adobe Illustrator instead of Microsoft Visio software. And the last thing, and that's as a last remark, don't rely on anything that you have put in a picture, in a diagram, in an illustration, without supporting it with some paragraph, with some further elaboration through text. Because sometimes evaluators, they will get the proper concept from an illustrator, but they want also to read it in a paragraph format. So one will complement the other. So we have illustrations, diagrams, implementing some paragraph text, and the same applies for some information that we include in a concise format in a table, and we want to complement it also with some description in a paragraph format. So these are the elements that we, as general tips, some general tips in order how we can impress the evaluators. Some general ones, I have to repeat, if you want specific ones according to the 8 quality evaluation criteria, you can have a look on the 3rd step in my Finding Expert transformation formula. Thank you for your attention. Till next time, keep up learning and enjoy it. Thank you. Hi there, I'm Nicholas Floratos, the host of the first Virtual Horizon 2020 Summit that from this place here in Brussels, that you can see the Berlemont building at the back, I'm personally inviting you to attend this extraordinary and eye-opener event from 2nd of October until 6th of October. Please make a note of the calendar, those calendar days, because I'm going to interview and I'm going to have more than 30 experts, the top experts in Horizon 2020, giving free lessons for you how to exploit successfully Horizon 2020, either for FET, either for ERC, for Marie Curie, for EA or EA actions, or even in any horizontal activities in Horizon 2020 like communication, dissemination, communication and ethics. Please be there. I'm looking forward to see you. Please make sure that the participation is for free during the broadcasting week from Monday 2nd of October until Friday 6th of October. You don't need any physical presence. You just need to access it through your web browser and then internet. I'm looking forward to meet you and talk to you. Please keep in touch. Go to Horizon 2020 Summit.eu to register because before the free places are running out. Thank you for that. Looking forward to see you there.